Strength does not come from overcoming what you thought you can do, but it comes from overcoming the things you were scared of, things you never thought you could do. Then at the end you get astonished as you take a break and look back. Speaking of a break, who doesn't like to have an escape after a long day? A reason to have something else to take the mind off the daily duties. Some people enjoy to watch sport games. How about you? What do you like to do after work to cool off your mind? We can say watching sport games is one of the great ways people use to relax after daily responsibilities. Randomly, I was reading a paper and ended up to this game story that was very intriguing. It made me keep reading on and on more than intended. You may be familiar with the torch lighting mostly done at the beginning of different games or ceremonies. This story was about the torch lighting also, but with a different meaning. It was about the race in the ancient Greek Olympics back in days. This race was very different from regular races we see today. In other races, we know the winner as the first to reach the assigned finish line, but for that torch race it was different. During that torch race, they lit many of them and handed to different runners. During that race, all participants started with the fire burning on their torch. At the end of the competition, no matter what place you were in at the end of the game, you were declared a winner if only your light was still on at the end. Being the first at the finishing line didn't necessarily mean you were the winner. What a good example of life. Sometimes the winner would be the one everyone misjudged and did not have much hope in at the beginning. As that competition, at the beginning of everything, it's exciting and everyone is around to applaud and cheering you up. But as soon as the first phase passes, the runners were on their own. They passed through the bushes, corners of the houses, some even under the water, anywhere possible to keep their fire on and be able to end the game as winners. To that point of harsh time, all the cheerleaders had left the sides and went home to wait and watch on TV, or at the end point to wait for the winner. In between, the runners were on their own. Not because they did not like them or want to keep applauding for them, but because to that point it was about the runner and their torchlight. Life is pretty much the same. Everyone has your back to an extent. When it's not exciting anymore and no one is near to cheer you up, don't be one of those who gives up. Instead, let that be the time you put on your armor, to rekindle your light, to put more effort in what you are working toward. Aim to keep your fire on no matter how much the wind is blowing all around you. No matter how many life troubles and challenges you are facing, don't give up. Keep trying your best as much as you possibly can. The secret of striving through life is to keep your torchlight on. Now you may be wondering how. The only way to keep it on, even when it may look like you're going down the hill, is through prayers. Get closer to God. God is always near. When you call on Him, even if you remember Him as the last option, He brings strength in you that you cannot get anywhere else. He can be the cheerleader when He's who you need, or the coach who never gives up on you when it gets hard and not good at all. His ears are always open to hear, and His hand ready to rescue you when you feel lonely, lost, or drowning. No matter what, fight to keep your torchlight on. Means prioritize your praying time and try to keep it up all the time. What are you struggling with now? New life step? Submitting in your application? A new business deal? Sticking with that treatment or looking after those kids? Fight for whatever you are facing with determination to win, to reach to the final point. Do whatever it takes to the best you can, then leave the rest to God. In a small or big project, stick to the plan you made until you make it. Depend on God over people. At the end, God works through them. As much as you pray and do your part, maintain your inside peace and leave the rest to God. It's unfortunate, but people can't always be there. Sometimes when you need people the most, that's when they disappear. People tend to do what's expected of them at the beginning, then stops. You get all the support when you are starting school, getting the first job, getting married, everyone will visit you, getting a baby, everyone comes so excited. Also, at the beginning of a hard situation in life, like losing your loved one, going through marriage difficulties, incurable disease, in prison, or any other tough phase of life, then, after all, everyone moves on but you. To everyone else, your situation becomes normal and usual, but to you, the situation is never normal. Accepting the situation doesn't make it normal. Actually, after that beginning phase is when it starts to get hard, but also is when no one feels like you need them much anymore. They feel like you have grown or used to it, so that you can handle it yourself. But the actuality of life, that's when you need a shoulder to lean on the most. Do you feel like you are in a such phase of life? Guess who never goes far no matter how hard it gets or how long without an exciting moment in your life? God. God is always around when everyone else doesn't feel like it's necessary anymore. Call on to Him. He is just a prayer away, near like that. If you are in a such situation, don't lose hope. Instead, open up and let God be there for you. The way God works is different from the way human works, but He works through you and me to make His mission accomplished, to reach to those who called on Him. As you are listening to this message, make a decision to be the vessel God can trust to work through to reach to those calling. Be closer to your loved one, to your neighbor, coworker, or anyone nearby who can use your helping hand. In a such time, even if it means long after that beginning phase, they'll come to your attention. They need a shoulder to lean on once in a while. So stay nearby as their lighting torch when theirs run down. Get closer and help to lighten theirs up again. Be a blessing to others. Either way, God's way comes to pass. What a blessing to be part of it. As stated in Isaiah 58:11, the Lord will guide you continually, giving you water when you are dry and restoring your strength. You will be like a well-watered garden, like an ever-flowing spring. What a blessing! May you have an open, caring heart to give, to comfort, to love and share. Be the vessel God works through. It's not the flames they show up that counts, but the light it gives, the support and listening ears it gives. As you shine for those near you in need of light, God sends someone else to lighten your candle also, to be the answer to your prayers.